you doing today? This is the Self Care Check podcast, and we like to always start off with a "Do you care about yourself, kid?"
Yes.
All right. It sounds great. It sounds beautiful. It sounds like you really do care. Not because I'm just saying. It's just really. I feel it. I feel it every day. What about you? Y'all know who this is? This is a special guest today.
She lives right around the corner from me.
Oh, see, he knows her especially. He knows her especially. So I would like to say to everyone in the podcast world, YouTube, Facebook, all of that, this is Sharon Poe, my lovely guest and co-worker, and I've gotten to know this lovely woman of God for some time now, and I have got to say it's fantastic to finally have you in this room.
I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm here.
All right,
I'm here. I can share a little bit of what Easy want to talk about today.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 55. I just turned 55.
She said she's 14.
I came to Dr. Moody like 8-9 months ago, and I was a little down, but by the grace of God, through this program and through God, I'm just feeling more better about myself, my health, I just love it. I'm just feeling like the person that I didn't feel before. I'm just feeling great today. So by this program and by me feeling like this now, I know it's more that God got for me, and I'm willing to be a part of.
So I'm going to read the topic for today's episode. Okay. Which today's episode is, was it good for you? I mean, yeah, was it for the good? For you?
Yes, it was for the good.
Yeah, like what was not so easy lessons that your parents taught you, and old sayings that they used to say that straightened you up and had you a little confused at times, but with time it made sense. That's what this episode is about. We're gonna talk about those things. We're gonna hear a little story from Sharon, and we're gonna jump into the questions.
Well, I was, of course, born by my mom, and I was raised by my grandmother, and my grandmother always was a Christian from the age of 16.
So she instilled
so she instilled in us, we had to go to church, and her favorite word was pressing on and never give up. No matter what our circumstances was, she would always tell us, put God first, and we'll make it. So through life, I had challenges, for my addiction 26 years ago.
Amen.
I'm just, no matter what, I had a lot of challenges in life, but through my challenges, that was my main word, and I looked towards that, press on, no matter what.
Can I ask, when you first heard her say that, what was your thoughts when you first heard it?
Well, she'd be in church singing, and she used to be like, no matter what, we must press on. God is always the one that's going to take us through things. She used to always sit on her couch. She used to always play her harmonica. And I used to just sit there and engage with her. She loved the God. So, I'm kind of thankful. No, I'm not kind of. I am thankful that.
I know that.
Since a little girl, I always looked to basically what my grandmother installed in me, no matter what. Even though I had a lot of challenges. Yes. But I will always remember my morals, where I was from, and what my grandmother taught me. So, yeah.
So we're going to jump into the first question, and then we're going to bring it into the room and answer it ourselves.
Okay. For
the audience, what were the core values of family you were taught, and how important are they to be proud to say that you've passed them on?
Okay. Great, Kai.
Yes, this is Kai. I'm another one from Tier 1 Dr. Moody's self-awareness program. Yes, it is a great thing that he brought to the table. But there's two things. I just heard Sharon say when she was young, a preteen, she had to go to church every Sunday, and that was the same thing for me and my little brother. My mother had 4 boys, but the 2 oldest, they can go whenever they wanted to, etc., etc. But me and my little brother Sharon, in 1982, my mother gave her life over to Jesus, And I would say I was 12 years old, and as I got older and started to think, that's when life really began for us, me and my little brother, because we had to go to church every Sunday, Sunday school in the mornings in church, and then Saturday we would have youth group, the teenagers. As I got a little older, they would come pick us up. We would go out bowling, ice skating. That's when I learned how to ice skate. You know what I'm saying? Going through church. I can't roller skate, but I can ice skate. It's a big difference. 2 blades and 8 wheels. Real big difference.
Yeah.
That's why I learned how to ice skate. And also my grandmother taught me in closing that whenever we would go over someone else's apartment, house, if we was in a restaurant, certain places, to always take your hat off. Don't wear your hat in your own home or your own apartment or your own room or somebody else's apartment or somebody else. She said always respect yourself as well as the people that you're going to see and take your hat off. So yes, those are 2 main things. Definitely when my mother gave her life over in 1982, I was 12 years old. So that's when, like I said, really began for me. That's when things started to see a little thing.
That door, that how
Right.
Dick Gregory say, once you put the cap on, you can never take it off. Right. Ever. It's there forever. You're gonna forever see what God wants you to see. And thank you for that story.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. What about you, Lo?
Well, for me, it was my mom. She always told me, she said, you have to work hard to earn whatever you want in life because you should not be looking for other people to make a way for you. Right. You need to get out there. If it's struggle, you have to struggle and make something happen for yourself. And so that's what I've been doing. I was like, why is that? I was like, why do you have to go through all this? But she's saying it's a thing that we all need to go through to better ourselves. Yeah. So from that day, I used to work hard even whenever I was working on the farm or whatever. I always kept my hands busy. And right now to the day, I've been busy from the time I got up to working age up until now. I still can't be still. I tried, but I just couldn't. Something just say you can't sit there. You have to get up. You have to do something. And that's whenever I came to Tier 1. And I was here for over 2 years now. And I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I'm going to be here as long as I can until God say, okay, now it's your time to kind of, take this somewhere else. Yeah, so that was basically what my...
Take another.
Yeah, hi everyone. For me, the things that was instilled in us is that a child's supposed to be seen and not heard. We wasn't allowed to participate in the grown folks' conversation. We didn't stay in the house all the time, but we was always given the thing before the street lights come on. You had to be in the house. And I look at it then, and those were the things that I just hated those rules. But then I looked at it then, and I see now that what she was instilling in me, it was to have some kind of order in my life.
Yes.
And I just didn't understand the street light thing, but then as I got older, I understand that she was keeping us safe. And so many things that happened in the dark, especially if you living in the inner city, So as I got older, I understood that the parenting part of it, because I became a parent. And it was my responsibility now that some of those things that was passed down to me that I didn't like, that I had to pass to my kids. I tried to make it a little bit more because when I mean more, I kind of explained it a little bit more to my kids, the purpose of why I was doing what I was doing, so they can understand it, that not that I was just giving them rules, and that was it. And thanks for allowing me to share.
Thanks for sharing, Bobby.
Dr. Moody. Michelle, tell
Everything I just heard, as far as from Bobby, Kyle, and Lois, like it's even bringing a little nostalgic for me. How about you?
Yeah, that was basically like, of course I'm a little older than you, Easy. So, yeah, like we was raised with morals and we was taught, little different version of now how, parents teach their kids, but yeah, and some people's carry them out and some people's don't. Some people's get lost, different situations, but that's basically what it was. And even if we lived somewhere in a neighborhood and we had it so that if we didn't get in trouble by our parents, they would have the neighbors to watch us, and the neighbors would be like, oh, well, your mother told me to, and we couldn't say nothing.
No.
Because, that was like a community.
Say prove it if you want.
Yes, sir.
Say prove it if you want. I don't know about other people.
Right.
I'm only 34 years old, turning 35 this year, but my parents gave teachers permission to beat my or discipline me in the open. Like I was in classroom getting my ear pinched, getting put in the corner. I'm getting pinched in class by a teacher who had my father in the same grade that I'm in. First grade.
Yes.
Second grade, same thing. I had a gym teacher named Mr. Miller. God rest his soul. Mr. Miller was my gym teacher all school 25. Mr. Miller used to be my father's 5th grade math science teacher. Right. But he's my gym teacher now. Right. I got my butt whooped all the time. All the time. I got in a fight. He'll let me fight. Right. Then he'll pull us apart. He'll tell me, I'm glad you defended yourself because I was taught to never swing first, but never let nobody hit you first. Right. But never swing first, but never let them hit you first. But I had that village, that impact from my elders had, that you had, that most children today don't have because people don't want nobody to talk to their child. And I understand there's a huge distrust in how other people are raised and how other people are brought up. So somebody's understanding of discipline is always going to be different from what you grew up with of discipline. So that's why it's always good to talk, get to know each other, don't judge, but be willing to be corrected as you are looking to correct others. Right. We have to take feedback and give feedback and be that village again. Because we need to bring back that neighbor that was in the window watching your kids and telling, hey, look, I saw them in the alleyway doing na. Yeah, go. And they was cursing at me because I said they was that, and I thought I was joking. I wasn't gonna, I'd rather the kids be there because I've gone through this. Little kids across the street messing with the this construction work that this church across the street was working on, and they messing with it and it almost fell. But the people cars was there, so all of that would have fell on their cars and messed their cars up, and the church is paying for the construction work. Now they got to pay for that and pay for that.
It's different.
The kids cursed me out because I said stop touching that. I said, oh. You must not know your mama the same age as me, and I had first grade with her. Watch this. Right. You don't know my mama. You blah, 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 blah. Right. I said, okay.
Right.
I went upstairs and came down with their mama, and she said, blah, 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 blah. And everybody that went past. Right. And she said, always let me know. So when them kids see me, guess what they do? Hi, Mr. Easy. Hi. Hi. You got something in there.
Yeah. When I was going to school, right when I was in like high school, I was like in the high school. No, let's go back to grammar school. The principal, he would beat us like no tomorrow. And we couldn't tell our parents.
Right.
Because this is the way it was, because if we tell our parents that we was acting up in school and got beat, then when we get home, we gonna get another beat. So I kept that thing under the rug. I don't care how many licks he gave me. I kept it in. I never cried. I just kept it right in and just let him beat me. Because I used to be a clown in the class.
Oh, I would have never thought.
Right.
I would have never thought.
Class, like acting up. And whenever anybody come in, I'm like this. But then he came by and said, you, and all of us had to get up and go get beat.
I had a principal like that too. That my mother, she worked it hard. We would get transferred different. Every summer, me and my little sister would have to go down south to work in the fields to make money to buy our summer clothes, our school clothes back. And the principal that I had, my mother told him, when soon as she get out of place, check her. And then he checked me. He put me in the closet, or I had to hold out my hand. And he tore my hand up, But, that's when we was kids and coming up. But it was, I could see some of that is installed in me. Even though I had a rough life, those was my choices. But I still hold on to how I was raised. And that nobody will never take that from me.
I know that's right.
Even after my drugging days, respect is due where it's given. I believe in that. My grandmother taught me, what could you do for a person, do it, and don't look for nothing back, because your blessings come from God. And I've always been like that, And I'm glad, in a way I feel good sometimes. Sometimes you can't let everybody help everybody, but that was always me as a little girl. Through the years of my drugging days or whatever I did, my circumstances, through it all, I always had that humble heart to know what my grandmother taught me. So that's what I did.
And
that's the grandma.
And I used to teach my kids, like, don't go to school acting up. Don't go to school fighting and doing all this stuff. I say, if somebody hit you, you go tell the teacher, like, you're having a problem or you're being bullied. So they did all that. But one day my daughter came to me, like, it was about like when she was graduating, She said, Mom, she said, that what you talking, she said, it don't work. She said, sometimes you have to catch them by the neck and just let them show them who you is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if not, so they're going to just take advantage of you. And you would just get beat up every day. So she said, I had to take things into my own hand. And then after that, everything was good. I said, okay.
All right. We're going to go to the second question. Statistics say that some people grow up without the experience of key life skills from their parents, but end up teaching their children. What was missing for you, and how did you feel?
Okay, wait. So some people grow up without experiences, key skills, but end up teaching them their children. What was missing for you, and how did you feel? I really don't know too much. I just basically always knew that, not that I didn't want to listen to people's, but like I said, I was a person of believing generations. A lot of people just say, "Oh, you got an old soul." I used to be like, "Okay, well, I believe in how I was raised up and how I was taught, and that's the way I just went through life. Like I said, no matter what, I mean, it's some right and wrong, and I was glad that I was taught not to do too much wrong. Even in the drugging days, I never stole. I just think stealing is just like something. It's bad, but it just does something to me. I've been with people.
Somebody's
worth, like taking. If it's not yours, why would you take it? I was just always that person, like, because I wouldn't want that to happen to me. So, I just believe on generations of how my grandmother installed stuff in me. Not no stealing. Cursing. I cursed a lot, so.
So you basically gave a little more freedom.
Yeah, with the cursing, but like stuff like that. Treat people bad, fighting. When I was 17, I got jumped by a gang of girls, and for no apparent reason, right? And I used to see these girls, and that's when I was, out there wilding, and they wanted my money. It was like 6 of them. But I was like, I'm not minding my business, walking, minding my business, and there was 2 guys with them, and I'm just walking. I didn't know, and they came up. It was like 6 of them came up, and they was like, just I guess they was little gang cuts, so they was like, oh, so they knew I used to get a lot of money, so they used to be like, oh, well, we gonna get her money. Man, I don't know what happened. I know I just was fighting them off But it ended up at one of them had hit me with a ring, and I never knew it caused me to have a blood clot. So my mother took me. We was going on vacation to Wildwood to my sister's house. I was 17. I was just finna get engaged, going on 18. I was getting engaged with I was 18, 17 going on 18. Well, my daughter's father, my first two twins. And, I never thought that. My mother took me to the hospital that day. Oh, nothing said. And come to find out that it was a blood clot through that whole time. By the time I got to Wildwood, I don't know, through it all. I went to bone doctors and everything. They ain't see nothing. When I got to Wildwood, I just started feeling like, like just not myself. And by the time he came down there and got me and brought me back home, I just was smelling like the whole room was like a scent. Like, anyway, what happened was I went paralyzed. I was in a coma for a whole month. By the grace of God, I came out of that, and I started walking and talking on my own like in 3 weeks, because all my family, my brother was in the Army then, and they had emergency. They said, one doctor said to my mother, "It's nothing we can do." And then another doctor pulled my mother and said, "If you sign the papers, if I can go in her head, we could save her." So it was like, and my family was a base, spiritual family. So, and I was glad of that. But I used to just be like, why? Like, I was never the person that wished no harm on nobody. Mind my business, always tried to stay out of trouble, like at first hanging with cliques and all of that. But by the grace of God, I'm still here today. They told me I would never walk, I would never talk, and probably I would never have no kids.
What?
Yes.
But the good thing about it is, on my way out the hospital, my daughter's father was like, I don't care what you got to do, just save her. And the doctor told him, well, she might be a vegetable. He said, I don't care. I'll take care of her, whatever, just save her. But, I'm glad I had a praying family. I'm so grateful that I had a praying family, that I can actually still be here today. Because they told me that I wouldn't make it and I would be a vegetable. But, and I thank God for God, because I know God is.
I think your grandmother's words was in your mind right there.
Yes, and I had I think that, like you said, that installed in me. You know what I'm saying? Because God gonna always give us plenty of chances, but it's us,
You
so
gotta be willing to see.
I'm just like, and some days, I don't think about, because it's what happened. My grandmother told me, I think about because I'm still here. He woke me up another day. You know what I'm saying? Only me can know me how I was. So I'm glad of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll ask the question again if you want.
No, I know.
I know. Well, for me, when my mother got killed, I had to go stay with my grandfather and my grandmother. And during that time, it was only like farm work, doing stuff like that. So that's what we had to do, cut wood, all this stuff, So it was kind of like hard work, labor, hand on hand. So they really didn't taught us anything about, leaving the nest and going to find your way at that time. You know what I'm saying? It was like when I was turning 18, whenever my grandfather, he saw where I was going to still just get stuck there. But he came to me, he said, all right, it's time for you to leave this place and go make a life for yourself. And so I left. He had to say it twice. I just wanted that permission. Because it made me feel so good that he see something that I needed. And the only way that I was going to get it is he had to release me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like stuck right there with him, making sure that he going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like old, getting old now. So I just left there and I just kept on, because I was always a person, like I say, love to work. So, but sometimes, like, they didn't really had as much education either, so they had to work with whatever they had. But for him to say that, it really made me feel so good, and I came and I made my way through life, other than having to struggle,
Right.
with all this different kind of picking cotton and all that stuff, which is all gone now.
Right.
They got different things now, but I've learned.
You were saying something about, in your question, you were saying something about what was missing in our childhood as far as the question number 2?
Yes.
Okay, for me, I'm just gonna brief it off. My dad, him and my mother, you know, had a little fling. It was whatever it was, but he got married. I could say tops, only see my dad when I was little 2 times. And that was probably just to drop off money for Christmas or for clothes. Only 2 times. So like, my mother, last year we was having a conversation when I was dealing with the world. We was having a conversation, she brought it up, and she brought up my dad, like he wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I only seen him maybe twice when I was little. Next time I used to start to see him, in 1996 when I was 26 years old, I used to go down to the YMCA to see him, my sister, and my aunt, you know what I'm saying? But I saw my sister when I was little, you know, maybe 8, 9 years old. I saw my sister at Eastside Park. But we both was shy, you know, we was looking at each other, playing the shy game, but we knew we was family. But yeah, that was the main thing that was missing for Kyle, was my dad wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? But he was married, and as far as I know, his wife never knew about me. But if she did, she just didn't say nothing.
Right.
So God bless his soul,
Right, that's
you know what I'm saying? That's that for me.
Thank you for
That's
that.
good.
What about you, Jayden? I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. So we're gonna jump to the last question and bring this to a good closing. You want to read it?
Okay, the last question says, what was something that your parent would say that you say now with the knowledge of the skills hits today, if said at the appropriate time?
For me, my mother, my grandmother, even my mother's father, and my grandmother's father, they all knew each other for my time, but they all had this one saying, and it shocked me to see my grandmother's father say it before he had passed, and it sticks with me today. Thinking comes from not knowing. And when I was little, I used to look at them like, but don't you gotta think to come up with like,
Right.
and then I was like, oh, as I got older, there's some things in life you don't need to think about when you see it. Because if you had to think about it, that means you never knew of this. You wasn't taught this. You know? So you can't get mad about what you did not know or what you was not taught.
Right.
So don't get mad at yourself, and you don't have to get mad at others. Right. You can if you want, but it's a waste of time. So when you are in a situation and you don't know, accept the fact that you don't know and seek guidance, seek information elsewhere, not just on yourself.
Right. Ask for help.
That meaning was so deep. I was like, I was enamored. I was like, it says all of that, and then you say this little bit.
Wow.
But that stuck with me, and it still sticks with me today. Thinking comes from not knowing. Anyone else?
For me, they always tell me no matter what you're going through, just don't give up. Just continue on the journey.
Right. Yeah, a lot of our parents said that. You know, the thing what Lois said, and also my grandmother's favorite thing was, I don't care what, you must keep pressing on. And then when I was getting older, I was saying that to some people, and they was like looking at me like, yeah, my grandmother used to tell me that no matter how hard it get, keep pressing on.
Yeah, you got it.
And I was like so tuned into that I just been saying it all my life. Like, keep pressing on. Through all situations, no matter what, you just keep pressing on.
What about you, Kyle?
What's that? I brainstorm. You gotta excuse me. I brainstorm.
What was something your parent would say that you say now with the knowledge of the skills hit today?
Okay.
If you said at the appropriate time.
What was something that my parents would say prior that I say now?
That stick to you.
that stick to me, they will always tell me, no matter what, always have on clean drawers and clean socks, because you never know if you're going to go to the hospital. Word up. I'll never forget that. The hospital or the doctor, always take care of your hygiene. You never know if you're going to go to the hospital or to the doctor, and you can't go up in there and smell it.
You right.
I know that's right. I heard my father said that. My father said
I know a lot
that.
of parents that told their children that coming up.
I'm gonna close on this one, and I feel that all parents should say this to their child and stick to it, because my parents did when I got arrested. My mother and father said to me, "Baby, I ain't got no bail money if you do wrong, so just know that you are on your own. I'm not gonna visit you. I'm not gonna come see you, because you did that to yourself." So make sure you have bail money. And do you care about yourself, kid?
Yes.